So we're gonna get into my powder foundation routine tutorial. I'm gonna be using the Fenty powder foundation. For my skin prep, I use this Jasmine Face Milk from Fourth Ray Beauty. This is from the ColourPop Mulan collection, and so this is what I went in to help prep, of course, on top of my moisturizer, yada yada. And I use the Fenty Hydrating Pro Filt'r foundation. Sorry, the Fenty Pro Filt'r Hydrating primer as my primer for today. Again, when you do, I am not a powder foundation kind of girl, so this has been new to me since this powder foundation came out. The one thing that I do know with powder foundation is that you have to prep the skin. Powder tends to emphasize everything. It like makes everything, pores, texture, everything. So skin prep is huge when you are doing powder foundation. So me using this was totally new to me because this is not my lane. I am a liquid foundation kind of girl. So I have been wearing this for the last month or so, and I love it. That is all I wear now, and especially with mask, it's so much more easier. I prefer that over my liquid foundation. If it's where I'm not gonna be having to wear a mask, then I'm in my liquids, but because I'm wearing mask, I love it. I don't really care what down here looks like, you know, so I don't really care about coverage so much, you know, but from, you know, like here up, I get flawless coverage. My skin looks good, you know, because I'm prepping or whatever. As you know, the Fenty powder, this is what it looks like. Again, this is not like, you know, I'm not gonna review the foundation. I love it, I get coverage. This is what it looks like. It has the F there, and then underneath you have your sponge and another little mirror. Again, same 50 shades as the foundation, though I do have to caution you that I wear 420 in the liquid, and I cannot wear 420 in the powder. I find that it is a little bit dark. So I literally went down to 410. I didn't like that. It's still okay. But then I also went down to 400. 420, I totally can wear on top of my foundation with no problems. But on its own, it's just too dark for me. Like you literally can see like from here to here, like sis, that's not it. So when you use your powder foundations, obviously whatever you use to apply makes a difference on what kind of coverage you get. So the more longer the bristles of your brush, the more fluffy you're going to get. And then you use something as dense like this, you're going to get more coverage. Me, I like to use my beauty blender. I can pack it into my skin. It doesn't sit on top of my skin, you know, more than just using the brushes. So these are options as far as how you can apply, but I just use the butt of my sponge and I just tap it into my skin. That's how I apply, and I get pretty good coverage. So I'm gonna be using a blender today when I go through to apply. Also, if you have like hyperpigmentation and stuff, you need to color correct prior. You can color correct using your concealer, or you can color correct like using you know, your color corrector. If you have hyperpigmentation, you definitely need to what do you call it, like, you know, even out your skin, because it is powder, and so, you know, you kind of want to make sure that you're getting the coverage that you need. And so I'm just going in right now and just kind of color correcting. I don't really have a lot of hyperpigmentation, so for me that's not necessarily important, but I still get coverage. But I just like to color correct, and this is the Live Tinted orange color corrector, and I have been using that lately. Like I said, it's not something that's necessary for me, but I'm doing that for the video. So I have that on. If I had like other areas that I was really dark, I would go in and, you know, color correct. I'm going to be using my Fenty concealers today. I have two shades. I have 370 and I have 330, which is like my highlight shade. So yeah. I'm going to be using 370 once I go ahead and blend out this. I'm going to put that down. What else do I want to let you guys know? Oh, so the powder, it's supposed to be blurring. It says long wearing, non-cakey, no flashback, light wear, crease resistant, sweat and humidity resistant. So if you have oily skin, this is like bomb.com for you. Again, dry skin, you just need to make sure that you prep. And yeah, again, you got to do things in opposite order. You can't put liquid on top of powder. So you're going to go in with all your liquids first and then the powder on top. I'm going to be using a cream bronzer today. This is the Soul Body Face and Body Bronzing Balm. Very similar to the Chanel balm that everybody raves about that doesn't have any dark colors. So this is what I'm going to be using underneath. I'm going to be using a cream blush. And I'm just going to kind of just go through everything real quickly. And then I come back since I kind of already talked about everything right here. So let's go. Let's do this. So I have my sponge. This is the Beauty Bakery sponge. And I'm just going to go ahead and blend out the color corrector. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the concealer down. I was trying to just use mostly Fenty products today. I could have used a Fenty sponge because I do own it. So I have another color corrector that I usually use, and it's a Chanel concealer. And I usually use that. It has that nice orange base to it. And I usually use that to, as my color corrector. So I didn't really want to use that in here in this video. So okay, got that nicely blended out. So I now have what I would consider like somewhat of an even tone. And I'm going to be using the Fenty Concealer for everything. I'm going to use it to carve out my brows. I'm going to use it on my lids. I'm going to use it under my eyes. And then I'm going to go in with the bronzer. So let's do it. So I have my sponge. This is the Beauty Bakery sponge, and I'm just gonna go ahead and blend out the color corrector. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the concealer down. I was trying to just use mostly Fenty products today. I could have used a Fenty sponge because I do own it. So I have another color corrector that I usually use, and it's a Chanel concealer. And I usually use that. It has that nice orange base to it. And I usually use that to, as my color corrector. So I didn't really want to use that in here in this video. So, okay, got that nicely blended out. So I now have what I would consider like somewhat of an even tone. And I'm going to be using the Fenty Concealer for everything. I'm going to use it to carve out my brows. I'm going to use it on my lids. I'm going to use it under my eyes. And then I'm going to go in with the bronzer. So let's do it. All right, so I have my concealer down now, and I'm just gonna speed through me blending that out. I'm gonna also add the cream blush, and then I'm also gonna add the bronzer, and I'm just gonna go through that really quickly. I don't need to talk through that. You guys have already seen me do that plenty of times, but then we'll come back for the foundation application. So let's go. All right, so I did not have a Fenty blush, so I did use another brand's blush, and I did not want to include that in the video. So now I have my sponge, my Sonia G sponge, and I am just dipping into the foundation like that. And then we're going to go in and then work that into the skin. So there you can kind of see on the bottom, like how it applies and the kind of coverage that I get from the foundation. So that looks pretty good comparing this side to this side where there is nothing. So just pressing that in. And what I should do really is like use the brush on the other side so that you guys can kind of see like how the brush applies. But I think that you guys can see how using something dense, you're able to get a lot of coverage. For the purposes of this video. Looks pretty good. I am liking that, like right there, like that looks good. Now going in on the other side. And I probably would venture to say you get like, you know, medium coverage. It's definitely like buildable, I would say, but just off the rip, I think that I'm getting medium coverage vibes. Again, most times I don't really care about coverage because we are wearing masks, and this is just so that I'm not walking around without, you know, no makeup. I feel like just doing your eyes without any makeup, you know, kind of is, you look kind of unfinished. So I tend to like the powder giving me an option instead of using like half a foundation on your face. You know what I mean? I just can't. Just putting foundation just on the top of my forehead, just because I don't want to put it all over. So now that I have, you know, most of my face done with the foundation, you guys can kind of see what it's looking like. Definitely coverage is there. Yes. Going in under the eye area, putting it in right in the my 5 head area, and that's it. So now that I have this on, I told you this is what I do. I'm just gonna do my eyes off camera, and then we'll come back for the finished look. But that's what it looks like. All right, so I'm going in with the bronzer. I have the Fenty bronzer in Cocoa Naughty, and y'all, this bronzer used to be like my ride or die. But then Charlotte came along and just, yeah. And I already had the cream bronzer down. So this is just really like amping up, and I really love how that looks on that side. So going in on this side, I'm not gonna put any more blush down because I did that Cream Blush, and it just really looks good under the powder foundation. It just adds a little bit of color. So the color really isn't lost, you know, with the cream bronzer. And I don't really do the cream bronzer that much when I wear liquid foundation, but I find that it does look really good with the powder, and that's that. So yeah, I'm gonna go in with a highlighter just because I feel like I kind of need that a little bit. And this is the new Fenty, well, not new anymore, but this one is the Fenty highlighter. This one is in Rose Rave, and I'm just going to, and I'm not really using a highlighter brush. Oh my God, I'm using my bronzer brush and just applying it in, and you can't really even see, but it's there. Okay, and I'm probably wanting to change my brush because I don't feel like this brush is doing it any justice. I think I need to get my highlighter brush. Okay, I can kind of see it a little bit over there. All right, I'm gonna do my lips and then we'll finish out this video with my thoughts. You guys let me know what you think, and yeah, let's go. Okay, so we're back, and I used the Fenty Cream Gloss in Mauve Mousse. Is that what it's called? Oh, Mauve Wives. That's the lip cream that I used for my lips. Oh, on my eyes, I have the number 4 Snap palette, and I just used the one shade Spice Trip all over in the crease and everything. And whatever else I used that I didn't let you guys know, I will link it in the description box down below. Again, this is what the foundation looks like. Again, I just want to reiterate, the key definitely is skin prep. Skin prep. I have dry skin, so my skin prep is really, really important, and that's how I'm able to get this nice application. I really like it. Like I said, this is literally what I wear every day. I don't really do highlighter and bronzer every day. When I go to work, I just literally do concealer. I do my eyes, my brows, and everything up here, and you know, the mask. But I do put the powder foundation on all over. I do say that it doesn't really transfer onto my mask, but your mask is, you know, trapping hot air, so it is going to break down. I don't feel like it breaks down the foundation when I take my mask off. I do look like I'm wearing something on my face. But it is blurring. As you can see, my skin looks like really, really good. It is sweat proof. It is like crease resistant. Doesn't have any transfer when I take pictures. So all in all, like if you're looking for something easy, you know, easy to use, easy to wear, good coverage, I do recommend the powder foundation. The trick is just finding your shade. That is the downside when you do wear powder foundation. It is harder to match. So, you know, it's not like, I think it's okay. This is 400, and I'm not even gonna go any lower, like try to find any other shades. I make it work. Again, 420 is what I use on top of my liquid foundations. So I hope you guys enjoyed the routine. It was kind of quick, to the point. It wasn't a lot to talk about. The key was just making sure that you do prep your skin very nicely. You do try to use a hydrating blurring primer, and that you put your liquids on underneath. Now I'm a powder foundation kind of girl. I wasn't that before. So thank you, Fenty, you know, for hooking us all up, bringing us on to the powder foundation fam bam. I do have the Makeup Forever powder. So probably what I'll do is a comparison of the Fenty on one side and the Makeup Forever on the other side. And then we can kind of compare, but I have never used that as all over. I've only used it under my eyes, or I have used it to set my face. So that would be my first time using it and comparing it to the Fenty powder. All right, guys, thanks for joining me for today's video. Don't forget to go ahead and go ahead and comment. Let me know, what are your thoughts about the Fenty powder foundation? Have you tried it? Did you have a hard time finding your shade? And while you're in the comments, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. Go ahead and let's grow this Lady M fam. And while you're there, hit the notification bell. That way you will be notified when new videos go up. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.